Everyone's talking about getting those insurance bookings, but do you really understand how the system works? Here's the thing. Temporary housing has a supply chain just like retails or manufacturing. If you don't know the players, the process, or the layers, you are flying blind. So I'm going to break it down for you and give you the inside scoop on how to actually land those insurance bookings. So let's go. I'm Vivian Yip. I'm a seasoned real estate investor, founder of Hestia by Corporate Rentals USA, and a real estate coach with a mission to transform how independent property owners connect with the insurance housing industry. On top of that, my goal is to elevate temporary housing standards by offering beautiful furnished homes that have the right amenities and the great quality that businesses want when they're referring business to you. I've worked with some of the top relocation companies and have helped families find a place to heal after disaster. Today, I'm sharing what I've learned about the temporary housing space with insurance specifically so that you can approach this niche with confidence. So, let's start by understanding who are the players. In the world of insurance housing, there are top four relocation companies that you need to know. And these are the companies that are contracted by the big companies. So the first one is ALE Solutions. That's ALE Solutions. The second one is Sedgwick Temporary Housing. Then we have Alacrity, who recently bought Temporary Housing Directory. And then there's CRS Temporary Housing as well. These are the big players and the core companies that have contracts with the major insurance carriers like Allstate, State Farm, and Farmers Insurance. They're the ones that are ultimately tasked with finding housing for the displaced families. Now, here's where it gets interesting. These relocations don't always have the perfect inventory of homes at their fingertips. To help them meet demand, they'll often work with trusted companies like mine, or they'll search through their own database to find what they need. That's where you, as a temporary housing provider, comes in. You might only have one or two properties, but they can still reach out to you if you know where to put your inventory. So you've received an inquiry from them. You've put your property in their database. They've now inquired, or maybe they reached out to you through Zillow or apartments.com or Furnish Finder, or even through me. What happens next? Well, you send a proposal, cross your fingers, and then crickets. Welcome to the club. Ghosting happens all the time. You are not alone, myself included. And here are the reasons why you get ghosted. The guest decided to stay with family. Sometimes it's just more convenient for them. Maybe their kids are special needs. Maybe they have grandparents close by. Maybe they just want to be closer to their family. It doesn't really matter. It's not our business. The big one is they didn't have a deposit ready. A lot of people, a lot of owners in the Airbnb space or temporary housing space, they're always trying to do this 1 month deposit. Maybe they're trying to do a 2 week deposit. The fact is, if they're going through insurance displacement, a lot of them consume up all of their cash by paying contractors, mitigation companies, putting deposits down for construction, leaving them with little to no money left for temporary housing. And besides, if you think about it, most people don't plan for a disaster to happen, and they might not be keeping that kind of money on hand to move into a place. A lot of times the guest has too many pets. I once got a request for 10 dogs, and they weren't small dogs either. They were big dogs. So sometimes they make the inquiry, and then they find out the relocation specialist finds out they got way too many dogs or way too many cats. I've helped put together a request and move in for a family with four cats, and luckily the owner was super flexible and they were able to move in with four cats. And they made an extra almost $1,000 a month. That was pretty cool. Sometimes they'll even find housing elsewhere. So, like, imagine on Airbnb, right? So, if you're a family and maybe your house is burnt down, the first thing you're going to think about is where's my family going to sleep tonight? So, it is a very, very panicky situation. For a lot of people, hotels don't work, they're not comfortable. And if they're able to find an Airbnb close by or in their neighborhood, they might just snatch that up. So kudos to them for finding what they need for their family. But if you think about those situations, that's what they need. They book something on Airbnb because that has a ton of available housing. The problem is You just don't know what you're going to get on Airbnb because there's no real vetting system, right? So sometimes they'll move into a great Airbnb, other times they don't know what they're getting into. And finally, it's possible that they just didn't like your proposal. Maybe the property wasn't to their standards or they didn't like the location. Whatever it is, there's so many ways that a proposal can fall out. But here's something else that makes it even trickier. The requests are often as vague as can be. I remember one time spending hours finding three different properties for one relocation housing request. And after all that effort, the relocation agent came back to me to tell me that the family needed a single story home with a fully fenced yard for their three small dogs. And they would only accept $1 million homes that were over 3,000 square feet. Here I was offering 1,600 square foot homes thinking it would work for a small two-person family. So much of this information could have been shared up front, but for some reason it's not always provided. This is one of the challenges of working in this space. You just have to expect curveballs and be ready to adjust. Beyond the size and layout, there are other factors that can make or break a deal. Like, I would say 3 out of 4 requests that I get are for single family homes. Or does it have a walk-in shower? Is there garage parking? Is it in the right school district? Is it going to the right school? And is it on the right side of town? The list goes on and on and on. Understanding these needs can make a huge difference in securing a booking. Actually, yesterday I got a proposal approved, but the family was concerned because the home was in a flood zone. So we're still waiting to hear back on that one. One of the biggest challenges for these relocation companies is finding a good quality home. That's where my company, Hestia, comes in. We provide beautiful, trouble-free spaces for guests, but we don't stop there. We work with these independent owners like you and help them find the right amenities to stock for your home, as well as we will send an inspector to certify your home as a Hestia approved property. Our inspector will go in there and make sure that you haven't missed anything in your quality control. And they're going through the standards that they use in corporate housing. So Hestia is really, our goal is to like, how can we take those corporate housing standards and take it up and match those Airbnbs so that we can have a brand and we can have quality that these temporary housing companies can trust. This certification tells companies, the insurance companies, that your property meets a high quality of standard. And trust me, that can help you stand out if they're choosing between two homes, for instance. And they all know, the big companies all know the Hestia brand. So if you're ready to take your property to the next level and gain the trust of the relocation companies, check out in the comments below for more information about how to become a certified home. And if you have questions about the insurance housing space, drop them in the comments so I can help you. Also, if you're really wanting to dive deeper in this insurance housing space, I've got you covered. I have a self-paced masterclass that dives deep into everything you need to know, from decoding vague inquiries to crafting irresistible proposals and standing out in the competitive market. This masterclass is designed for property owners who want to learn from the insider secrets to securing insurance bookings and maximizing your income. You'll gain actionable strategies and expert guidance to confidently navigate this niche. If that sounds like what you need, check the links in the description to enroll in my course, and I'd love to see you on the inside. As always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm here to help. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos about real estate, midterm rentals, and more. See you next time.